I sense vibrations. Horrible, bad vibrations. Oh, yes, I feel them very strongly. Oh, yes, something peculiar surrounds you. Your aura. Oh, by Malphus, no! It is indigo blue, the color of the dying. It must be a magical anomaly, but still, that doesn't bode well. But you're lucky. The stars are on your side. I, just like you, find myself in deep trouble. And maybe we can help each other. I have a special object in stock. A skull. According to the legends, it comes from the midst of the Kiran Desert, and us arcanists refer to it as the Master Skull. It is a risky experiment, but at midnight, if you balance the skull on your head for 1 full hour, it might help to reharmonize your aura. Maybe. Oh, such distrust in the cosmic powers. Well, a horse can only be led to the water. Drinking has to be done by the horse itself. If it's coin you're after, you shall have it. A couple of days ago, something precious was stolen from me. My beauty potion. And until yesterday, I was in the dark as to who took it. A vision has shed light onto the matter. It was an aura thief. Yes, old beings from past times, way before the Pyreans. For common eyes, they are invisible, but we, spiritually gifted, can see them. Aura thieves only have one reason for existence, and that is to disrupt harmony by playing horrible pranks on innocent people, such as the theft of my potion. Unicorns are fairy tales, you should know that. It was an aura thief. I can feel that deep within me.
Why is that stuff so expensive?
Yes! Its essence is fresh water directly from the sources of Inodan.
Pennies for a sack of grain.
A real rarity, you see. But it is as potent as it is exquisite. To those who drink it regularly, the potion grants both an otherworldly allure, as well as it completely stops natural aging. And before you ask, yes, only through the elixir was I able to maintain my youthful beauty over all these years. I have a suspicion. Yesterday, when I danced at the river, I heard a voice out of nowhere whispering right into my ear, and it only said 6 words. Find me in the Clearwater Cave. I'm sure it was the potion who spoke to me, but I'm too old to go exploring old caves like this one on my own, which is sad since said cave is only a few minutes' march from the village.
Look.
It's an abandoned mine just up the hill that leads to the pass. Go there and find my potion, and I will reward you most generously. What? But this is impossible. Oh, by the voices of the new age, this is terrible. Truly terrible. Then it seems I have no other choice but to find a new source of water, haven't I? Oh my. You will be disappointed, but I cannot give you the Master Skull under these circumstances. The ingredients for the new potion will be costly. However, you did try, and I appreciate that. Here, take this. May it be of use on your travels. Now, is there anything else you need? How about an herb to get rid of those dark circles under your eyes?
You're not from Riverville, are you? What do you want? Is that so? What does that have to do with yourself? How noble of you. But how do I know you're not a quack? I know nothing about you. All right then. I suppose it can't get any worse than it already is. Come, let's go upstairs. Well then, let's keep this short. For 3 moons now, Matilda has been hearing voices. Sometimes during the day, sometimes at night. There is no pattern. According to what she told me when she was still lucid, the voices seem to come from the sea. And it's a mixture of pleading, screams, and weeping. Maybe so. Or maybe it is some kind of a ghost, or a magical anomaly. Only Malthus knows. Since the night she first heard the voices, however, her health has been worsening. At first she lost her appetite. Then she started vomiting. To make things even worse, she now has a fever that gets more dire by the minute. Father Vildus is clueless, and even the 2 apothecarius who quickly passed through the village said they don't know what's wrong with her. She has even stopped recognizing me lately, and talking to her has become impossible. I don't want to lie, stranger. I just don't know what to do anymore. If it keeps going like this, Matilda will not see the turn of the year. Yes, and the times when she hears them are her only waking moments. She then starts screaming, on, flailing around as if the Black Guardian stood before her. It's horrible to see her like that. My brother Meldor is a traveling arcanist, and has already examined the house for magical anomalies, all to no avail. Whatever causes these voices, it only affects her. No, according to what she said to me when she was still lucid, they are just a babble of voices, and a horrible one at that. No, not in the least. You know, Matilda is such a good person. If it is a ghost that has possessed her, then it must be a cruel one who only wants to see her in pain. And if it's a disease, that Malthus shall be damned for making her suffer like this. I'm sorry. I should not have said that. You. Maybe it helps if you were there for one of these seizures. I don't feel comfortable about it, but if it could help, we have to give it a try. Just come back in a few hours' time. It hasn't been too long since she had the last one. Give me a moment with her until then, all right? My brother Meldor will let you in once it's time.
Ah, hello. You're the visitor Dugar told me about, right? The Outlander? Well, as ready as we can be. As Dugar probably told you, the seizures happen arbitrarily, but more often around this time. Come, follow me.
Thank you, Meldor. And thank you for not changing your mind. It could happen any minute now. Just take a seat and wait. And I warn you, this is not going to be pleasant.
No, please. No.
And here we go.
They are coming. They are coming back. No, 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 please don't. There's no other way.
Bentas.
So? You mean you heard the voices? What are you, some kind of medium? Pentas? I don't know, but...
That was the fisherman, don't you remember? The one who collaborated with the brigands and was killed when he tried to resist the arrest.
Ah, yes, of course. And his companion drowned herself afterwards. Poor thing. But I don't understand. What, by the righteous path, does that have to do with Matilda's sickness? Something tells you this, I see. If the circumstances were any different, I would take you for a quack, trying to win my favor. But you seem honest, and I shouldn't leave anything untested. Meldor, where was that fisherman's house again?
I have a map.
Then give it to him.
Of course, brother.
If Pentas really has anything to do with this, you should take a look at his old house. It should be abandoned. And now excuse me, both of you. I need some time for myself.
Here, this is the map. His house isn't far from the village, but you should be careful nonetheless. I don't need to tell you that the animals have grown savage recently. This red madness, or whatever they call it. This holy order, by the gods, you really do have Outlander written all over your face. But no, I am not. I have, as all the magically gifted have, passed the walk to the water, but I didn't qualify to become a keeper or a magister. And to be honest, I didn't want to either. A free Arcanist, as are many others. But with all due respect, I think we should save the talk for later. Matilda's condition gets worse by the minute.
I am sure, Nero, that's the problem. Otherwise I wouldn't say all this, would I? What should we do?
Nothing.
I beg your pardon?
I said nothing. Whatever Madame Fellowall's reasons were, it's her and this Meldor who have to answer to Malphas in the end, not us.
But
Pentas, if this Meldor doesn't have a problem sleeping with his brother's wife, then only the Black Guardian knows what he's willing to do to make sure no one ever finds out. And where did that suddenly come from?
today, when I prepared the catch, I don't know, it just came to me.
So you want us to name our child after an idea you had while disemboweling fish?
You make it sound so bad.
Do I?
Look, if you don't like it, we will find another one. It's still a while, after all.
Pentas, I'm just mocking you. I like the name. I really do.
Jael, this is madness. Do you even listen to yourself?
What, do you think I enjoy this? Please, Pentas, don't make this any harder than it already is. Your chances are best if you cooperate.
Chances? In the best case, I will spend the rest of my life in jail. Whoever told you this rubbish is a bloody liar, damn it. And now you...
And now, I will count to 3. If you haven't dropped that knife by then, jail will be the least of your worries.
Oh, will it now? Because you'll kill me, right? Are you so blind, Jael? This guy, he's not from the guard. He's a damned sellsword.
1.
My sir, I think there's no need to.
2. Bad idea.
Oh, hello. So, did you find anything? What? This is ridiculous. Who do you think you are? What? Oh, sod it. I never wanted anyone to get hurt. You have to believe me. The whole thing, it got out of hand. No, I didn't know he was an assassin. Dugar, she never loved him, you know? The only reason they stayed companions was her path abidingness, and that a divorce would have shamed him before the villagers. She started it, not I. I mean, yes, I gave into it, and yes, I love her, damn it. But, oh, by Malphas, what did I get myself into? Yes, we always met on the beach at night, shortly before dawn. That fisherman, he must have gotten up earlier that day and he saw us. I mean, he tried to act as if he didn't, but he did, I'm sure of it. Yes, that's what I told Matilda too. But she was so afraid, you know, that her entire life would be shattered to pieces and that she would never be granted the eternal paths. No, I mean, yes, I hired that sellsword, but he was only supposed to intimidate him, maybe make him move somewhere else, not kill him, for heck's sake. Please, my sir, you have to believe me. This sickness Matilda has, these voices, they are Malthus's punishment for what we both did to that poor man. She will never wake up again, I can feel it. And if you tell Dugar the truth about what happened now, you will accomplish nothing. Don't you see it? Nothing but break a man who has already been broken. What? No, you can't do that. Please, I'm horribly sorry, and I regret what I have done. What else do you want? No, forgive me, but I cannot do that. I will... No, help me!
The fever. It is gone. The fever is gone. She's still weak, but it's gone. Just like that. What happened? What did you find in that fisherman's house? And where is Meldor? What? By Malthus, I see. I suppose I should thank you, shouldn't I? At least now I know the truth. I don't know. What Matilda and Meldor have done, hiring that assassin, it's horrible, beyond redemption. But still, she lives. And Malthus, forgive me my selfishness, I'm glad she does. I am so glad. I need to think about this, but right now, I can't. In my scribery, there's a small casket on the table. Here's the key for it. Whatever is in there, it should compensate you for your efforts. Now, please, leave me.
Well, if it isn't my new friend. Any luck? Well, that's interesting. Good work. That only leaves the mysterious object in the water. I'll have a closer look around here in the meantime. Interesting. I didn't know about his companion's fate, to be honest. Irony of fate, isn't it? Murdered by those you wanted to help. But the Order will definitely be interested in these letters. Well done. That should be all we need then. Splendid. I did, and now I finally know what to make of it. Come, follow me. I present a Star People's lock, and I bet my buttocks will find another answer behind that door over there. Doesn't surprise me. This kind of lock is usually only found in treasuries or castles, but they can be picked, though that's going to be quite the challenge without the bolts. Normally, yeah. It's quite simple, actually. Every keyhole has a matching bolt that latches into place once you insert it. And once all the keyholes, 5 in our case, are latched, the door the lock protects opens up. If you don't have the matching bolts, however, you should prepare yourself for the most frustrating break-in of your life. That is, if you don't happen to be Jaspar, who knows a little trick. You can use wooden sticks instead of bolts. They'll break a couple of seconds after you put them inside the lock, but if you manage to get all 5 sticks into place before the first one breaks, you can basically trick the mechanism. It's all about speed, in other words. So I'd say you do the running, and I'll wait near the pressure plate. You ready? Splendid. Here are the sticks. All right, go! A fire elemental. Not a weak one. This Yarrow knew about magic, that's for sure. That leaves us with the question of what exactly this is supposed to be. I suppose that's his companion. Though it's interesting that he was already on the wrong side of the law way before his rampage. Well, burials are considered heathen here in Enderal, and have been forbidden for about 300 years now. Here, corpses are always cremated. The whole thing's called the Last Journey. The deceased is taken to a place he or she considered special during his or her life, immediately after dying. That's the only way the soul can move on to the eternal paths. Sounds very poetic, but I'm pretty sure the only reason the Order introduced the law was to prevent plagues. Plus, they might have noticed that too many lost ones running around on trade routes aren't that much fun for wanderers and traveling merchants. Yeah, but of course that only goes for the little man. The rich and powerful still tend to their family crypts, and there are still plenty of old vaults around from the time before this whole last journey thing was begun. And it's good that way. What would life as a treasure hunter be like without the notorious noble looking for family jewels in a century-old grave? What's that? Let me see. Uh-huh. A tragic ending for a tragic personality, I'd say. Well, I think that should suffice. Well, what should I think about it? Yarrow was a self-righteous fool, just like all these do-gooders are. They celebrate themselves as great messiahs as long as everything goes well, but once they fail, it's the bad, bad world that's responsible for it. The wise hermit has a good saying for that. People are only idealists until it starts to hurt. He and his lady should have simply stayed in Riverville. Glad you see it that way. Yeah, we are. Here, I've got 2 teleport scrolls that can take us right back to Riverville. Just meet me in the tavern once you're ready to go. I have some stuff to take care of, so there's no need to hurry. Farewell. So, are you ready for our little journey? It seems that Riverville's Myrid's injured, so we'll have to go by foot. Oh, right. You wouldn't know that since you're Naramese. Myrids are giant flying creatures. Quite nasty when wild, and quite useful when tamed. You can find Myrid towers all over Enderal. And for a small fee, the keepers in their Myrids can take it from point A to B in no time. But, as I said, Riverville's Myrid's injured, so we'll have to walk. Splendid. Let's wait until nightfall, though. That way it's less likely we'll run into an ambush in the pass. One more thing. Up to now, you've seemed more like the roguish type to me. In battle, I mean. Am I right? I knew it. I'm asking because I was in the market just now stocking up on provisions, and I got myself some new reading material. Here, I think you might find this useful. The Arizalian in My Bed, Sensual Confessions of a Vagabond Lady, Volumes 1 and 2. You know, for the lonely nights. Jokes aside, these are learning books, from arcanists or master fencers, depending on what you read. You know how to fight, but if you want to get better, you have to enjoy reading these once in a while. You're welcome. Then off we go, I'd say. You go on ahead. Just take the route leading north out of Riverville. It'll lead us straight to the mountain pass. Quite the sight, isn't it? It's moments like these that make life so damn worth living. This place was once a trading post, in case you're wondering, but it's been deserted ever since the isolation. Yeah, that's what we call the decree that was made 30 years ago here in Enderal. Simply put, the Order decided to reduce their trade with other countries of the civilized world to a minimum. Not a very economical choice to make, but that was roughly the time when the Lightborn Eridan left Narim. The Order was probably afraid something similar could happen in Enderal. You know, open harbors quicken the exchange of information, which in turn quickens rebellious thinking, and so on. Since the decree, trading in Enderal has been subject to very strict regulations, and only the wealthy can still afford things like Termatralian wine or Chilean spices. Anyway, since then, a lot of once flourishing trading posts have closed down, such as the Three Rivers Watch down at the Sun Coast, or this one. Yeah, if you want to take a look for yourself, feel free. If not, let's push on. We still have a good march ahead of us. Welcome to Ark. I've got some things to take care of here, so let's meet at the market once you're ready to meet Grandmaster Tealor Arenthiel and his mages in person, alright? By his own son, Nerazil, yeah. But roughly 2.5 years ago, he suddenly appeared back in Enderal, accompanied by a handful of mages who once fought against him in the Great War. Weird, I know, but that's how it was. He did, yeah. It seems that something happened between him and them that made them sort out their issues, you could say. They're allies now, and frankly, nobody quite knows why. You can imagine what kind of uproar that caused among the Holy Order itself. But in the end, Renthil got things his way. You can say what you want about him, but he never lost his charisma, that's for sure. You're telling me. But apparently their alliance has something to do with this red madness. I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, sure, I should have thought of that. Pardon me. Alright then. Ark is divided into 5 districts, not counting the harbor. The Foreign Quarter, where we are right now, the Marketplace, the Nobles' Quarters, the South Quarter, and the Temple. If you're looking to gear up, I guess the market would be the place to go. You can find anything there, from food to weapons, armor, and whatever else you need. If it's magical supplies and alchemy you need, however, you best try your luck in the Nobles' Quarters. But prepare yourself for some dismissive looks. Up there's also the bathing house and the theater, in case you have the coin for that. Finally, there's the temple, which is hard to overlook. Normal citizens are not permitted to enter it, and from up there, the Holy Order reigns over this country. But if all goes according to plan, you'll soon see it from the inside. And then there's the Undercity. Yeah, it doesn't, and it isn't. The Undercity's a cluster of caves directly beneath our feet. And down there is where the poor and the sick live, not to mention those that the Order doesn't like to see in their neat, pretty streets in the upper city. Not a place I'd recommend you visit, at least not unless you're looking for mischievous things. Great. Then see you later and enjoy your stay.
Do you have a moment? I think the two of us could do business together. Well, it is actually quite simple, but since you were kind enough not to just ignore me and walk by as the others did, I would like to show my gratitude for that first. You travel a lot, don't you? I can tell by the mud on your boots. Here, one of these books might come in handy on your journeys. Which one do you prefer? Splendid! Say, would you happen to be interested in earning yourself some more coins? Or, even better, more books like those? There is something I need help with. I have a problem, and this problem is called Celia, which happens to be my sister. Where should I start? You know, I am one of those people who wasn't given everything by fate. Quite the contrary, in fact. When I was a child, the village I grew up in, Foamville, was ambushed by bandits, and both my father and my mother died during the attack.
Thank you, but it's ancient history now.
Fact is, my sister and I dealt with this event differently. We managed to flee the attack and make it to Ark, where the gods, of course, threw us into the Undercity. But while I tried to honor my father's heritage by using the little I could from our savings by setting up a business, she preferred to wallow in her misery instead. She got to know the wrong people and has, since then, never done a single bit of honest work. Frankly, she's a dust addict. Day and night she does nothing else but rot in those drinking holes in the Undercity and blows what little money she makes on her drage.
Now, of course, she is still my sister, so all of these years I paid her rent so she doesn't have to sleep on the streets. However, things have changed. Recently she started using our father's heritage to pay for her addiction, and I will not accept that.
And always making trouble. Anyway, keep your chin up, boy. You're doing good work.
Well, technically it's our money. Basically, it was a share our father had in a small business here. He was so proud of it, you wouldn't believe it. Luckily enough, I managed to save that paper from the bandits and turned it in at the bank a few years ago, after I realized how valuable it was. Since then, it has turned into quite a formidable sum. Nothing huge, of course, but enough to save my business from bankruptcy. You understand? In theory, it is our money, but without me she would probably have sold it for a bottle of ale, and I won't let her spit on our father's heritage that way.
Of course, you wouldn't know that. Glimmercap dust, the blue bliss, or however you want to call it. It's a drage, a dangerous one. Apparently, it makes you feel as if you're walking the eternal paths. but it also kills you quicker than the sunfire. I certainly could, but the day a guard voluntarily goes into the Undercity is the day Avatia will become a barber. The Undercity belongs to Relata, and Celia knows that, which is why my hands are tied. Oh, believe me, I did. Which is why she simply hid the key to our safe in the bank somewhere that I couldn't find it. So, long story short, this is where you come in. I want you to get her to give me that key. How you do it is up to you. But if you succeed, it won't be to your disadvantage. Anywhere there's rats and dust. But she spends most of her time in the False Dog in the Undercity. One of those dumps I told you about. Just come back to me once you've found something.
Stop ignoring me! You bloody fluttered your eyes at me, woman. You think I haven't noticed, don't you? You say sorry at once, or I'll smack your mouth. Oh, that you'd like to know, huh? So you can deduce her, me Bernadette. Don't bloody think I'm stupid. Uh-huh. Then you want to deduce me, don't you? Of course. What else would you want? I knew it the moment I saw you. Okay, then listen up, pal. I'm way above your league. Apologise. Right now, or you'll see me get real angry.
Bread! Taste it now, our unrivaled, fresh and tasty bread!
What, you think you can mock me? Alright. You'll regret this.
Well, let's put it this way. I have a pair of eyes here and there, and it's always good to know who comes into this city and when they do so. Help. You're an unfamiliar face, and this is just what I need. Let me make it short. I'm a businessman, and my specialties are the liquid pleasures. Beer, to call a child by its name. In Ark, most inns only pour 2 drinks. On the one hand, my beer. On the other hand, Rivervale Ale. Dalsarker honey wine is what they like to call that swill. Now, the thing is, the Riverville Brewery and I have a deal going. And unfortunately, the new vine dresser respects that deal as much as the Relata respect the righteous path. And this is why I want your help. I need someone to aid me in serving some retributive justice, so to speak. Now look at that. Aren't you curious? That's good. I like that. It's simple. 7 barrels of beer per tavern and per week from me. 7 barrels of wine from him. No tricks. Correct. That way, we maintain balance. Should an inn order more than these 7 barrels, either I or the vinery inform each other about it first. The fact is, that new vine dresser doesn't care about that deal at all. All he does is walk around saying things like how he'll grow the business, how rivalry adds spice, and other Kalian horse shit like that. And unfortunately, some people seem to fall for him. One innkeeper hasn't ordered from me for 3 weeks, and now pours only ale instead. Wonderful! Here, this is a flask of highly concentrated vinegar. Sneak into the basement of Fat Leorin's Inn. That's one of the inns that fools talked into only buying ale. And pour that into the big mead barrel. And, I probably don't need to say this, but still, not a word to anyone. Get back to me once it's all taken care of, and we'll talk coin.
And if I am, what is it to you? Listen, I know you mean well, but not now, please, not now. Huh, help. Who are you, Lorem Waterblade reincarnated? Aye, maybe you could help me, but I think we both know what that really means. You want money. Everyone wants money, it's all that keeps this bloody world moving. That bastard Gulfer proved it. I shouldn't talk like this to you, but still, please, just let me be. Just go.
Tywin Summerfield. By my path, accountant of Screws, Hats, Odds and Ends Incorporated. Even though I doubt the two of us have common ground, so to speak. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm mistaken. You don't know this? How can I explain? We are an association of thinkers. Highly gifted thinkers of sterling origin, to be precise. And Screws, Hats, Odds and Ends is our guild, to put it in worldly terms. Ah, and did I forget to mention that we are the #1 supplier of the Holy Order in terms of metalware and starling technology? Work? No. That is... Maybe yes. You do get around quite a lot, don't you? You certainly look like it. Fine then. I suppose it's worth a try. There is something, and a person of your talents could come in handy. A grand-scale assignment we recently took on. One of our customers ordered replications of several Pyrean artifacts. A most exquisite wish, of course any of our people could fulfill. However, our current problem is that we still need many of those artifacts' originals to work with. If you could recover those originals for us, you would be generously rewarded. Here, these are some of the ruins that might be worthwhile visiting. Sorry, but this is none of your concern. Splendid. Come back once you've found something.
Wait a moment. You're an outlander, aren't you? Only if you know what to look for. I'm one myself, so I do. Balhazer, pleased to make your acquaintance. Tell me, if you're new in this city, are you perchance also looking for work? Excuse me, what was I saying? I'm looking for a hand.
Yes, of course you'd say that.
Well, neither do you. But to answer your question, I'm Orizalian, but third generation Orizalian, so it doesn't show that much anymore. Apart from my name and my skin, there's little left of my roots, I'm afraid. Anyway, so what did you say? Interested in some well-paid, honest work? It's simple. I want you to find something for me. You know, I'm a healer, just like my father was, and my grandfather before that. When he came to this country, he did so because he had been hired by an Arca noblewoman, a bright lady who valued science and the arts of healing. In any case, my grandfather spent a large portion of life working for this lady in an old, abandoned fort near the now deserted village of Fogville. Together with a good dozen other apothecary, he planned for my father to succeed him. But before he had the chance to, the mushroom plague occurred. Yes, that one. The spores of those mushrooms have literally sucked all the life from the forest and its surroundings. Plus, they are a threat to everyone who comes close. It does seem likely, doesn't it? Both my father and I have asked my grandfather this question too, but he has always denied it. The plague was a magical phenomenon, a freak of nature, no more, no less. Those were his words. However, I've made some troubling discoveries which have led me to doubt that. I believe the plague might have been fabricated. Well, this is exactly what I want you to find out. Unfortunately, the noblewoman who my grandfather worked for has long been dead, and she was the last in their bloodline, so I couldn't find any answers there. But the old fortress where they worked still stands. Go there and look for answers. If my grandfather had something to do with this, I want to know. Look at me, you'll have the answer. I'm old and far from made for the road to begin with. Furthermore, all those undead who have been roaming the wilderness since that red madness began don't exactly make the idea more inviting. But don't worry, if you succeed, I'll make it worth your while. Isn't that obvious? Because I want to understand. You know, we Arzalines believe in the debt of blood. If my grandfather committed a crime, it is my responsibility to atone for it. Plus, I believe that if there was a way to, well, to cure that plague, it is hidden within that fortress. Whatever harm the mushrooms can do, they can also reverse it. My father never cared much about all this, but I'm different. If there's one thing I want to achieve in my life, then it's clarity. Reports, scrolls, samples of their work, anything that could be of relevance. Just look around. Do you have a map? Here, the fortress should be in this area. Best you take Myra to Fogville. In the village harbour, there was a hut where my grandfather lived when he was off duty. Chances are you'll find a key to the fortress there. Good luck, and thank you. If you have found the material, you can find me in the Undercity, near the old waterworks. My laboratory is there.
Look who's arrived. Did you have any problems finding your way around? This city can be quite a maze if you don't know it. Right, you're from Ostian. I almost forgot. They're quite fascinating, these places, aren't they? You can climb high, and you can fall just as deep. And every place vibrates with life. Here, put this on. And before you ask, yes, it's necessary. Just trust me.
No civilians beyond this point without explicit permission. Who are you, and what leads you to this holy place?
Business. I'm Jaspar Dalveric, and I work for the Naramese mages.
Ah, right. The mercenary. And who's your companion?
Marijo de Luna from Ostian, esteemed holder of de Luna's Empire of Tender Fragrance, the most prestigious perfumery in all of Vin. Archmagister Marigil sent for him. Didn't he tell you?
The Archmagister. Well, that does sound like him. Fair enough, you may pass. But show this place the respect it deserves, mercenary. You too, Meister de Luna.
You have my word, fair lady. Thank you. Well, that went better than expected.
What's that?
I don't know.
Hey, it worked, didn't it? That's all that matters. Nobody will suspect someone who's already in the temple. Anyway, I think it's about time I tell you a little bit more about this employer of mine. His name is Constantine Firespark, and he's one of Narathzal Orenthiel's former followers, which the new Grand Master, Tealor Orenthiel, brought here by ship about 2 years ago. That means he's one of the former arch-enemies of the Order. They usually wear green, while the Order wears white or red. That should make it easy for you to tell them apart. Firespark's pretty much the eldest of Narathzal's mages, and quite well versed in magic, at least from what I've heard. Plus, he's a very gentle and likable fellow, which is why even the keepers like having him around. Let's hope he can tell us a thing or two about these visions, and help you get rid of the fever. Come, follow me.